Shalom, shalom, Kohalayim La, Yahweh Shemel Shabbat Kakdash. And this is Psalms 83 and in verse 1. It says, Keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Chiefly being Esau, Edom, on down to the rest of the nations. Those are the enemies. It says, They that hate thee have lifted up the head. They did that in great pride. It says, They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. All right, and that crafty counsel just goes back to the word crafty goes to it goes into to be subtle. Subtle, cunning, this devil's heart is deep. All right. So they go far measures to take counsel against the Lord's people and consult against our hidden ones, being the Israelites. It says they have said, come and let us cut them off for being a nation. They did this through that crafty counsel, the changing of our name, the burning of books, hiding of history, through the foods, chemtrails, just everything. It says that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They tried to destroy us, to reiterate, by just covering up their tracks. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They was hating, they wanted to, destroy us as a nation. It says they are confederate against thee. Again, they all came together. Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom, the so-called white man, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, so-called Chinese, and the Hagarenes, Jabal, Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, and so on and so forth. Okay. One way they did this is through the use of exonyms. It says, an exonym, also known as a xenonym, is a common external name for a geographical place, group of people, individual, or language slash dialect that is used only outside that particular place, group, or linguistic community. Exonyms exist not only for the historical geographical reasons, but also in consideration of difficulties in pronouncing foreign words. And this was not done by the difficulty of pronouncing foreign words. Esau Edom knows how to dig through history, and he got what's the thing called Rosetta Stone, things like that. So it wasn't done through the difficulty of pronouncing words. This was done because of Psalm 83. Going back to verse 4, it says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So by labeling us as Black, African American, Hispanic, Native American, Indians, that takes us further and further from our true power, when we identify as these things, and that keeps us in a dead state. All right. And that's why they push, these different cultures and philosophies and names on us, because that keeps, if they keep us in a place of sin, then we will be without our power. All right. This is Revelation 11 and 11, because we're coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. We're coming back to life. It says, after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, them being the Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. They stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And that's talking about those nations in Psalm 83. They're in great fear. That's why they're covering up their tracks, man. You got Edom fighting tooth and nail to hold his so-called kingdom together. You got Moab thinking they're gonna be the next to rule. Same with Russia. They're in great fear. It says they stood upon their feet, the exceeding great army. When the spirit of life from the Lord came into the Israelites, again, these nations fell into fear, and through that spirit of life, um, we're standing an exceeding great army, you know. Hey, so Lord willing, that was edifying. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Kakdash.